You have to look for someone who will speak. What he's going to do for me is to say what Ife said in English. Okay,
to join them on the article is the thing of law. Truly represented. Join me to welcome the Mr. Osamo. Chief Security Officer of this application, the President of LA. Environmental psychologist, Dr. Mrs. Adekunle Ajasin, welcome. So I also use this medium to recognize President Faculty of Arts, President Faculty of Education, and so now
meeting. It is a still running to launch the Safe Cities campaign in Nigeria. ActionAid is an international and a local NGO. We are registered in Nigeria and we have Nigerians running the trustees of the organization. But we are affiliated to ActionAid International, and that is why this campaign that we are launching here today has already been launched in several countries across Europe, Asia, and the Americas, and other countries here in Africa. In Nigeria, this is the third university where we'll be launching this campaign. We've already launched in Benue State and also in Ebonyi State, and this is the third university that we're coming to. Why is this campaign very important? We need to know that women experience the city, experience the community differently than the men. It's something that some people are not very aware of. Even here on campus, people have a beautiful campus by the way. Almost every hour, as we're sitting down here right now, a girl is being raped right here in this city. I'm not even talking about the entire country, in your town right now. And that is how bad it is. Whether they're small children, whether they are teenagers, whether they are adults, a woman is exposed to danger. And that is why this campaign is coming on stream, to raise our consciousness of the fact that women experience the environment different from men. And that it's important that the duty bearers, the government, the management of facilities like this school, put in place measures to ensure the safety of the women folk in the community. And when we say this, there is a document in the folder most of you have that summarizes the findings from our studies looking at these universities, but my colleague Nkechi will provide more details as we go on. But even our streets, our local governments, people are not conscious of the fact that women experience the city differently. And so that's why you have streets that are dark in the night. There are no street lights to make the place safe. And when it's dark, then it predisposes the female folk from getting abducted or kidnapped or raped or even having their personal belongings taken away from them. When we look at this and bring it home to your campus, that would mean, the way to your libraries, to your hostels. Like I said, I was impressed to see that, you have some semblance of if a female student gets attacked on campus, and then they represent law justice. And if you love that, one of the things this campaign is looking at, how do we look at gender-responsive public services? Services that respond to the peculiar needs of women. Transportation, for instance, if people are going to commute within the campus, how have we looked at those means of transportation to be sure that they accommodate the peculiar needs of female students? If we are going to put in place libraries, theaters, and other things on campus, how do we ensure that the road leading to those facilities are safe for the female student to be on anytime she needs to be there? The road to the library, to the lecture theaters where she needs to do her prep in the evenings. How safe are these? What about water supply within the campus environment? sanitation facilities. How have we ensured that these facilities are in such a condition that the female student can access them without exposing herself to danger? So this is what this campaign is all about. We're doing it not just on campus, but in the communities as well. Because like I mentioned earlier, in some of the universities we work in, over 90% of the students are residing in the community. And most of them are exposed to attack by even those who are meant to protect them, the vigilantes that reside in those communities. So how do we as a collective, as a university community, get conscious of the fact that you can't just say I've done a service in school? We need to look at those services from the gender responsive lens, to ask yourself, will a female student be comfortable using this facility? Will she be comfortable at night without anybody accompanying her to walk from her herself to the classroom to study or to the library, and are those being processed? If anybody should hit at her, does she have somebody to go to? That's I'm very glad that the director is here. Are those mechanisms very clear to everybody? Is she able to know where to go there and get justice? This is what this campaign is about. It's about getting justice for the women to be able to occupy the same space, especially in the citadel of learning, like the men folk. Yesterday, some of us were aware that our Harlow chambers were debating a bill on gender parity, and that bill got thrown out because some people were still holding on to primordial sentiments about what a woman should do and how they should own a woman. And we know very well that that is against our constitution, because in our constitution, both male and female gender have equal rights. Under human rights laws, we all have equal rights as well. And so there is no way we would sit back in 2016 and allow a group of people to decide that the women folk are not equal. All this campaign is all about. It's about ensuring that in this space, like the good they say in any of the best. So we could look at research and look at what other community. So I welcome all of you as well as that of the student world to fashion out something that makes this university the model that we can showcase other universities within the country.
To start from the representative of the Vice Chancellor, you have the floor.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to come on behalf of the Vice Chancellor of this university and to welcome you into ActionAid, and for us to also appreciate you for ensuring that Adekunle Ajasin University is one of the universities where you've taken this program to, and the third university, so we quite appreciate that. We also like to acknowledge that the university here is agenda sensitive, and you'll find out that we have the director of the Women Studies Development Center here with us. We also have a female deputy vice chancellor as well, the deputies. So we are gender sensitive. And I want to assure you that the university has in place measures to ensure the safety of our female students. And the female students who are here can bear witness. The dean of students is here. There is no where on campus that is not safe for our female students. They can move about freely, and the security unit is also up and going. So we have no fears about the safety of our female students who live on campus. And those who also live outside campus, the university has made arrangements, and the dean of students will attest to that. We now have an off-campus unit of the Student Affairs Office to attend to the needs
of students who live outside of the campus. Besides that, the female students are also free to walk up to any of the management staff and people who are saddled with the responsibility of attending to their needs when they have any challenge. And I also want to assure you that this university has a zero tolerance for anything that we want to call sexual harassment. And we have it in history that students who have the courage to come up to report if there is any infringement on their rights, management took up such cases and they ensured among the lecturers or among the administrative staff get sanctioned if they try to do anything funny. And that is also not limited to staff, it's also extended to even the male students. When there is any reported case of rape or attempted rape, such students are brought before the student disciplinary committee and their cases are appropriately dealt with. So the university is very, very cautious about our female students, and the Vice Chancellor is very, very convinced that anything that we add value to this system and to our female students, we will go for it. So on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, once again, I want to Adekunle Ajasin University of Law in these times when female sex is exposed to threats and dangers of kidnap, of rape. The Lord will help in delivering your mandate and
Deputy Vice Chancellor, Administration, Professor Oyibade.
I have come for this program. All know the issue of safe women is trending in the nation at this time, and as if this group is very, very prophetic. It has undertaken this research even before this thing started to trend, and I'm so glad that we have this kind of report that is not just a report that you pick up from the internet, you pick up from the social media. This is a well-researched report that would give us some policy direction. And for that, I want to thank this organization deeply. I want to also say that, as the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic has said, this is a university that has a very high sense of responsibility. High sense of responsibility, especially to our students and to those that society would consider to be disadvantaged. We are gender sensitive, and for that reason, we would be very, very careful to listen to all of the recommendations that this program will throw, and we promise you that we will implement every single one of them that would bring about safe interaction, safe community interaction for our women, our girl child, and for the community itself. I want to thank you very much
for that short and thoughtful review. Thank you very much. Academics. Nigerian students, came to campus to conduct a research. The most student-friendly university you can find in Nigeria. We can bend backward over. We can do anything to help our students to be safe. But I'll be highly delighted if ActionAid can build an hostel for our female students. This is most delightful question to do that for us, because that is one of the greatest challenges that we have. As you all know, the majority of our students live off campus, and that will throw up a lot of challenges, particularly for the female students. Some weeks back, we had a case of attempted rape of some of our female students. I hope the police will do a thorough work in that regard to bring the culprits to book. So if we have all of them on campus, I am sure we will have such a challenge. So for those who live on campus, I would say you guys are extremely lucky, but we hope that we are going to expand our hostel facilities in Corsi ActionAid. Thank you so very much.
So, do you live? That's
Diversity is gender conscious, and since the inception of this center for the past 5 years, we have been working in conjunction with the university management to organize seminars, series of seminars for students, just to empower their potentials. And the university is not just for the girls alone, because there is a relationship between boys and girls. But we try to focus more on the girls because they are the victims of so many things, of all the social vices. So we bring in successful women to discuss about their career, so that they will see them as role models and mentors, and see how to fashion out their own pathways towards their career. We also bring in both males and female resource people to present papers on sexual harassment and rape, drug abuse, and so on. And this has been working for the girls. We also monitor their indecent dressing, which we also see as temptation to the boys. So there is dress code in the university. If you don't dress properly, they will send you out from the gate. So I think the university is student friendly, as been said by the Dean of Students, and we act as their local parentis. They are not left on their own. And whoever violates the law, be it staff or student, there are sanctions the university handle to deal with that. But let me just say that our worry is that these social vices spread like wildfire among the students based on their age. So our prayer is that we are here again to join us to see that we are after their normal welfare, so that they have their career at the end of the day. I pray that they will realize that we want good students, we want them to take to good things in society, so that they will not join the bad wagons or the ill things that are happening. It's a pity that they are lawmakers. They are not friendly to women. Imagine yesterday, they said it is unconstitutional to have women gender equality in Nigeria, and majorly from the northern part of the country. If you look at those people that spoke against it.
My name is Adekunle Ajasin of campus. As you all know, the challenges being faced by our female students on campus and off campus, the challenges are enormous. We know that on our part, and I will do the work my team has said, that the best thing ActionAid can do for us at this particular point in time is to address some of the challenges that we're facing on campus. And that is accommodating 90% of our students on campus. If they can come and build a female hostel for the ladies on campus, we'll be very, very glad if they can do that. And you can be rest assured in the international world, the females are moving closer and closer to the men for. Very soon they will catch up. I believe that I'll take you through the relevant provisions of the African Women Protocol, and that's section 14 of the African Women Protocol 2005, which says that women have the right to determine how many children they want to have, how many times they want to have sex in a week, whatever you want to do, you have the right. And we are still waiting for our own government to implement that, where the women take charge of themselves, and you can be rest assured, if that is implemented, the females usually catch up. But I'm not praying for that anyway.
Special thanks to the members of the Activista, the youth wing of ActionAid Nigeria, Ondo State University, Justice Development and Peace Center, and ActionAid Nigeria, our partner, for the tireless efforts made towards making this day a reality. The Justice Development and Peace Center, under the Ajasin Ondo, is a non-governmental organization committed to the promotion of human dignity and values, as well as human rights, by commitment to social action that enhances society's awareness of injustice through advocacy for changing unjust social conditions. JPC, in collaboration with ActionAid Nigeria, our partner, work in some areas to touch positively the lives of the common people, the poor and excluded, in the areas of right to health, right to education, right to human security, and in conflicts and emergencies, right to just and democratic governance, right to food, and women's rights, which is actually one of the areas that our program today falls into. Also, in partnership with the Activista, we are currently working on budget advocacy on issues around agricultural funding in Ondo State in relation to smallholder farmers, especially women, and on multinational campaigns of the ActionAid International, the Tax Justice Campaign and the Safe Cities Campaign, which are launching today. The Safe Cities Campaign, as has been said by some of us, is aimed at improving the safety and mobility, and also access to public services for women and girls living in poverty and exclusion, and in an effort to advance the rights of women and girls and to promote their safety. JPC, in collaboration with ActionAid Nigeria, carried out a baseline study on safety for women and girls in the university community, and the findings are the ones we'll be presenting to you today. We hope that the partnership which we have initiated today with the university authority will become more consolidated towards achieving the future that we hope for. Thank you.
Then I launched the Safe Cities campaign. These are the 3 things we want to do now: present the findings of the safety audit and on key actions or strategies of so that the campaign will commence. And the campaign is premised on the right to the city concept. When we talk about the right to the city, we refer to everything that the city has to offer, that male and females have right to enjoy it. So when you look at issues around safety in public spaces or in private spaces, most often when they talk about violence, people always think about violence at the private level, restricting violence or women's life within the private sector or within the private sphere. But for us, the Safe Cities campaign is looking at the public spaces, like the market, transport, institutions, churches, anywhere you can think, as long as it's a public space. So we are saying that for us to enjoy Safe City, or for us to understand what the Safe City is talking about, it's premised on the rights, because actually it's the right-based organization. We believe in the human rights of people, and we work with government and individuals to claim their rights. So the right we are talking about is the right to enjoy what the city has to offer. There is no need for me, because I'm a woman, to be afraid to move in the night or to go out. Maybe sometimes people say, I don't want to go to the need to understand that there should be safety at every space. And again, why are we talking about the violated? I'll get raped. So you find out that the same city, the same time that we are coming back, we are experiencing it in a different way. We've heard stories of people who go to night vigils, even in this city, and they get raped. And I'm sure the men might just get there, go out at the same time. The highest or the worst that can happen to them is that they get dispossessed of what they have. Maybe somebody pushes them, shows them, collect their phones, and let them go. Nobody will think about raping them. But women suffer the local jeopardy, losing their possession, and also getting sexually violated on that. So looking at that, from that perspective, we need to begin to realize that we need to take actions to protect women. Again, violence in public spaces affect mainly women and girls, and especially the poor, who are often weak because they don't have the power to protect themselves. Now, if, for instance, the rich people, can my voice carry the private sphere rather than the public sphere? Before I just talked about the bill that was thrown out yesterday. Why were they arguing? Because we are looking at equal rights to divorce, equal rights in marriage and all of that. And somebody is coming up to say, no, this negates my religion or this negates the religion. I love the analysis. If some of us watch the analysis that the channels on Daily Sunrise Daily did this morning, I would so love this, that women should occupy or women should participate in. We are restricting them. There are several limitations around them that makes them not to enjoy that same city the way we do. Some of us will say this university, no, I listened to the VC's speech and with all due respect. But if you do a deep analysis of this same institution that we think is so well protected, is so well gender sensitive, you'll be amazed what will come out of that research. So basically for us to begin to think about addressing gender-based violence, it requires us to recognize it. It requires us to identify it. You know, open them up. Like I said, it's not just saying it, we are protected, we are good, this. Can we begin to interrogate some of those issues? Pick them up, open them up. What does violence mean? How does it affect women? How does it affect the girls within the institution? And you'll be amazed what will come out. So we need to begin to recognize it. And then begin to put in place measures to reduce them. And then basically eliminate it completely. Because for us in ActionAid, we believe in eradication, complete elimination of all forms of violence. Now, what is our ActionAid safe campaign and the two campaigns that ActionAid Nigeria is running? But for the safe cities, we are focusing mainly on the women and girls. The task force again looks at broad institution, finances and all of that. But for the safe cities, looking at how to look at the public spaces to be safe for women. And we started that, it was piloted in 5 countries, Brazil, Cambodia, Ethiopia, Liberia, and while for us in Nigeria, so different countries, those countries, different countries was the incident that happened in Abia State University, is it 2 or 3 years ago, where there was an incident. Can somebody answer? It's a fashion. There is no excuse for crying out loud. I agree in this. Decided to focus on the university environment, and our objective is to respond to the safety needs. At the end of that audit, we came up with our national framework of action. We invited the Nigerian Universities Commission, these different schools, and other stakeholders in women's rights and all of that, and we sat down together and came up with a national framework of action. I'll still share that with you if you want. But basically, what was the outcome of that research, that audit? First is that research showed that there is gender-based violence exists within the universities. Those 2 universities that were sampled. However, the degree or the degree levels varies across the universities, between universities. Like in Benue University of Agriculture, Makodi, it might be issues around physical violence, while in Ebonyi, maybe sexual violence and all. So the degree of violence varies across between the universities. Now again, that research also showed us that females are the victims of violence while males are the perpetrators. That does not also mean that there are females who also violate other females, and there are females who violate the other males. But in terms of the weight, in terms of the degree, in terms of the scale, the women are the ones who are suffering the violence, while the men are the perpetrators. Sorry? Again, we also found out that there is inadequate and in other universities absence of infrastructure, and this increases the women's vulnerability because there are no hostels in their own hands. Yes. The possession of women are actually in their own hands. Now, I want to suggest that first, the women, especially the girls, should have self-dignity, facing what you are supposed to come and do in the school. I know I will produce a background finance. I'm not
department, sorry. But we had several cases of distinctions. Some of the lecturers, some of us, doesn't even know those girls until maybe 400 level, when we now see that they are 4.6, 4.7. Some of them are returned back to the university. So, what I'm trying to say is that if a girl has self-image, no lecturer, I'm telling you, no lecturer that says, okay, come and give me before I can give you an A. The girl already has a 95, 96. So nobody is going to use arms to actually force you to do what you don't want to do. So first, the ladies will have self-image, self-conformity. That is 1. 2, proper dress code. Dresses that are not suggestive. Yes, we have ladies that actually will come to places to come and kill the lecturer. Yes, there are cases like that. So when we see them, they say, sorry, I'm busy, or something like that. A girl will come with open tattoo. Yes, yeah. Pamphlet. What is she suggesting, trying to sell? 3. Those ladies that are bold enough to actually come forth and report this sort of abuse should be protected some way. The secrecy of those incidents should be kept as a sanctity by the authorities.
An advocate of the fact that most men cannot control themselves. The reason is not far-fetched. I think I've seen a mad woman around these houses for some months now. I don't think any man has been able to rape her. She's nude. She has been moving around nude. I'm not saying that we should not enforce the dress code. But my point is that individuals should try as much as possible to control themselves. Even in other crimes where we have women dressing maximally, they are still being raped. So it's not about this. It's about the psychology of the man looking at the woman. Because when you look at the ankle of a woman and you discover that the ankle is very clean, you become inquisitive. How clean will be the main thing? And then you, like the woman said, you want to open the layers and look at what is in there. So it's about self-control. But I agree with him in another area when he said women should be bold enough and do the needful. So at the level of student affairs, we have identified this gap. We saw the need to equip not only the female students, but the males. Instead of young men and women we have on campus now, this lack of social skills. So we need to enhance their level of social skills. So that is my take on this.
I agree with your position, sir. But most students are also irresponsible. The way they dress, the way they apply the book. I come to ask them, do they have dress code in AAU? Do they have dress code in AAU? Yes, what we teach them at the event management teaches them orientation, fine. Do they apply them? As men too also have a responsibility to pay. But at the same time, we must also look at how university can also reach out to parents to talk to the students. University parents interacting with it is important. Thank you.
We are the people, we are at the edge of the lecturers who put the blame on us. The reason is that there are some lecturers in this school. No matter how the female students dress, even morally, they will come to the class to intimidate. In the sense that they will ask for the matric number. What is your matric number? What level are you? Not because they want to give you it or anything, or advise you to give you it. But I'm just putting it to the school management once again. This is our mommy here, the BBC academics. She's our mommy, she's a leader. You always see a leader dress moderately. Leaders don't dress to attract. They dress to let their followers emulate. Like Hillary Clinton in the US, you will never see that woman dressed immorally. Those are the type of leaders we are emulating. And I want to put it to the school management once again that please, if the school management can put some measures in place to monitor our lecturers. For security reasons, I would not like to mention it. In place of those lecturers that are normally frustrated students. Thank you.
Outside, even they themselves, they are not getting school security. If you tell them, please don't around me, I will not to school security, they'll be like, what will they do? What will they do? What do they want to do? Seriously, I'm a victim of that. There was a time I told the guy, the man, not the guy, and Harvard looking man. I thought I'm going to report to the security, but they were like, you know, guys, there's nothing they will to me. So I was like, okay, no problem. And I had to tell a male student himself, who was like, wait till you know the woman. So we should please, the school security should please, even within and outside, should please try and make it easier for us. Thank you.
Ensuring protection for themselves. Well, the first and foremost is the female sex should be security conscious, not moving conscious, and not moving about in dark places, moving all alone when one feels the environment is not secure, and also to ensure that they are always in company of one person or the other. One other thing that the female also should do is to ensure that when there is such a challenge, she shout for help, because it can't come just suddenly like that. There are steps to it. And so when there is a challenge, particularly if it is during the day, people will come to that person's aid. Those are the steps. And I also want to admonish parents too, to keep watch over their walls, over their children, not sending them on errands to dangerous areas and ungodly hours of the day, asking them to go get something that may not necessarily be needful at that particular point in time.
As part of the management of this institution, what are the measures put in place to ensure that female students go about their businesses freely?
Thank you for that. The university management, it's like I said, gender sensitive, and we ensure that every female student and all students are fully protected. And we have a security unit that is responsive to the challenges of the environment. If you notice, when you come on campus, we have two sets of security. We have one outsourced, one that is private. Then we have the school security. And we believe that their cooperation will ensure continued safety and security on campus. And there is no way the two parties will be able to collude to breach the security protocol on campus. And what we also do is that if there is any challenge facing any student, the first point of call is the security unit. And the security unit will follow it up and ensure that that student is fully protected. Some that don't have the opportunity of running immediately to the to the security post, may take the option of going to the student affairs. And we have able men and women there. We have good counselors there that will take up the challenge and will ensure that justice is done if there is any violation of the rules. And in our regulations, any student who attempts such, the student knows that after facing SDC, because that's a violation of the matriculation oath, will be shown the way out. We don't tolerate such indiscipline. There have been a few cases and they've been actually dealt with.
Fact is that there is no reason for any woman to suffer violence, even if she's naked and walking on the street. That does not justify violence against her. Again, but that doesn't mean to say that women should not be decent in their dressing. But I want to tell you that the notion of women being raped and molested because of their dressing is a no-no. You cannot go and take people's things. People display their houses, beautifully built. You don't go walking there and say, I like this house. It's beautifully displayed. I like the horticulture around the house. I'm going to move into this person's house. No. If you like it and you can afford it, you negotiate with the owner and buy the house or rent the house. You don't go forcing yourself into the house because it's beautifully displayed.
Now, I want to ask, why do you focus Nigerian University in this your campaign?
Well, like we mentioned in the presentation, most of the things happening, this is a closed space, a space that has authority in place, that has mechanism in place. And so if we don't get it right within this space, then it's going to be difficult to get it out in the larger communities where the management and the institutional structures are not quite well set out. But in the university community, we have layers of authority. And we cannot afford to have such atrocities as girls being molested within such a place. And this is a place where you're supposed to have enlightened people or people who are seeking enlightenment. And so you cannot come into such a setting and have the female students being molested either by the lecturers or by their fellow students or non-academic staff and getting away with it.
In terms of policy, what should be the role of government ensuring safety for women?
Well, the first thing government needs to do is to have the policies in place, have the legislations in place that allows women to equality. That's why it's so sad about the discussions yesterday at the floor of the Senate. There has to be those legislations in place. But apart from legislation, it's the responsibility of the government to protect every citizen, and more so the female citizen. And so it's important that the law enforcement agencies, the judiciary system, the justice system, also have all it takes to understand the laws and to bring that to bear against anybody that is violating the female. But also in our institutions of learning, it's important that the hostel facilities are there within the campuses. The government can partner with the private sector. The third fund is there. Most of the states, this is a state university, most of the states have not been able to access those funds. These are funds that are lying there that could be used to build the hostels to keep our girls safe within the school setting, instead of having them live off campus and being exposed to harm.
Thank you very much. We have to look for someone who will speak that. What it's going to do for me is to say what Ife said in English in Yoruba. Okay, say
Thank you, ma'am.
We are called to the act of rape yesterday.
àṣà wa pàápàá nínú àṣà Yorùbá ohun tá à ń pè ní ẹ̀tọ́ lọ́jọ́ aláyé ló ti wà láti ayé aláyé ní ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀tọ́ ti wà fún obìnrin. Tẹ́ bá wọnú àwọn òwe wa, tẹ́ wọnú orin, tẹ́ wọnú àṣàmọ̀ wa, gbogbo ẹ̀ ní ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀tọ́ obìnrin wà tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n ń fi ọwọ́ tẹ obìnrin lójú. Kódà nínú àṣà wa nǹkan tí a gbàgbọ́ bí Yorùbá ni pé ọkùnrin tó bá fìyà jẹ obìnrin pé ẹranko ni. Nǹkan tí àṣà Yorùbá gbàgbọ́ nìyẹn. Tẹ́ bá tún wá ṣe àkíyèsí, ẹ lọ wo gbogbo ìdílé tó wà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ẹ ṣàkíyèsí pé tí ọmọ bá fẹ́ tó bá tó ṣe àwọn nǹkan kan tí ó dàgbà tó ń ṣe pé ó fẹ́ fẹ́yàwó, ó fẹ́ dákọ́lé, ó fẹ́ jáde ilé lọ́mọ dágbé, kò tí bá bẹ́ẹ̀ àkọ́kọ́ béèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ ní pé ṣé o ti sọ fún ìyàwó ẹ̀, ṣé o ti sọ fún ìyá ẹ̀. Èyí tó fi hàn bí Yorùbá ṣe ka obìnrin sí. Gbogbo àwọn nǹkan yìí ló jẹ́ pé àpẹẹrẹ oríṣiríṣi. Tá bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa títẹ̀ ẹ̀tọ́ obìnrin mọ́lẹ̀, fífìyà jẹ obìnrin, fífi ipá bá obìnrin lò, ara àwọn àdàmọ̀dé ìwà ìgbàlódé ni kì í ṣe nínú àṣà wa ló ti jáde. Mo fẹ́ sọ pé ká béèrè lọ́wọ́ àwọn tó jágbàlagbà pé ibo la ti gbọ́ orí nínú ìtàn ọkùnrin ń bá obìnrin lò. Sínú tàn tàbá nǹkan tá a tún fi mọ àṣà ó ní orin, òwe, àṣàmọ̀, ẹ̀dà ọ̀rọ̀, ewì. Ẹ lọ ṣàkíyèsí nínú ẹ̀ lárí tó sọ rí pé wọ́n fipá bá obìnrin tàbí wọ́n wà ẹ̀tọ́ sí irú ẹ̀. Gbogbo àwọn ìwà tí kò tọ́ tí ìwà ìgbàlódé mú jáde nílé. Nípa ìwọṣọ, ó máa ń yà mí lẹ́nu nígbà tí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ bá ń sọ pé ìdí tí àwọn kan fi ń bá obìnrin fipá bá obìnrin lò nítorí aṣọ tó ń wọ̀. Mo fẹ́ bi wọ́n pé láti ní àwa ò tá a dàgbà mójúmọ́, obìnrin ló rọṣọmọ́yà ni. Ládùúgbò ẹ̀ rí obìnrin tó rọṣọmọ́yà, ẹ̀ rí ọmọbìnrin tó rọṣọmọ́yà tó rìn kiri àdúgbò tó ń ránṣẹ́ tó jáde lọ. Ilé olóoru la tún wà, kì í ṣe gbogbo ìgbà náà lè hàn dí gàgà dí gbogbo tó ń wéjọ mọ́rùn. A sọ pé kí àwọn èèyàn ṣe ara lẹ̀ oyè yìí bọ́ ó tún yẹ ká máa ó dáa. Ọmọbìnrin ọmọ ọdún méjì tó ń fipá bá lò ṣé torí kó ṣe ara lẹ̀ náà ni. Ara ìwà kò tọ́, ìwà ẹ̀dá àti ìwà lílàákàyè táwọn kan ń wù, ìwà ẹranko pátápátá. Tá bá tún ṣe àkíyèsí, ìwádìí tún ti fi hàn wípé kì í ṣe àwọn obìnrin tí wọ́n ń ṣe arálẹ̀ nìkan tàbí tí àwọn kan sọ pé wọ́n ṣe arálẹ̀ nìkan náà fipá bá lò. Ẹ lọ check, ẹ lọ ṣàkíyèsí. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn obìnrin tó fipá bá lò ló jẹ́ pé obìnrin tí ó borí tó borùn wọ́n fipá bá wọn lò. Ṣé a tún sọ pé àwọn yẹn náà tún ṣe arálẹ̀ ni? Ẹgbẹ́ ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ wa. Ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ yìí à ń ṣe níbi oríṣiríṣi. Àmọ́ ìdí tó jẹ́ ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní ibi ní yunifásitì ni pé a gbàgbọ́ pé gbogbo àwọn ọmọ yìí tá a bá sọ̀rọ̀ àtàwọn olùkọ́ wọn àtàwọn tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní yunifásitì, gbogbo wọn pátápátá òun náà ń gbé àwùjọ tó tóbi ju yunifásitì lọ. Tá a bá bá akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ mẹ́wàá sọ̀rọ̀ nínú yunifásitì, ó ṣeé ṣe kí akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ mẹ́wàá yẹn kàn bá èèyàn nígbà sọ̀rọ̀ lọ́nà ní àwọn ìlú ìletò tó kọjá ibi tá a wà yìí, ibi tá a ṣe fi òye sí yunifásitì.
What we are saying is that women, the way we view it in our society, they are being considered as a property to the men, because this is about looking at the women and girls like someone that will enjoy the same rights as the men. Like what happened at the Senate yesterday, that this bill of gender equality was struck out. The senators argued that the ladies should not enjoy the same right as men. So for us ActionAid, we just see that, okay, this group has been marginalized, and we are trying to look at how can we work together with the university, the university community, the security agency, and other stakeholders. How can we make our society safer for us all? Because this is key. Because when we are talking about rape, a lot of people, they have psychological trauma. For the rest of their life, they will not be all right. So these are things we are looking at. These are issues that we need to interrogate and see how we can collectively work around this and ensure that our society is more safer for female students and women in the community. Ọkùnrin náà kúkú lè ní, ṣùgbọ́n nǹkan tí àwa fi gbé ọ̀rọ̀ obìnrin kárí ni wípé àwùjọ wa jẹ́ ibi tó jẹ́ pé àwọn obìnrin wọn ò ní ọ̀yàyà tàbí okun láti bá àwọn ọkùnrin jìjàkadì. So ìdí nìyí tí ọ̀rọ̀ wọn fi ká wa lára, tá fi wò wípé ó yẹ kí a rí pé agbègbè wa ó jẹ́ ohun tí ó ní, báwo ni àwọn olóyìnbó ṣe ó dùn gbé fún àwọn obìnrin. So ìdí nìyí.
Okay, so what do you think?
What he's going to do for me is to say what Ife said in English in Yoruba.
Okay, so